Nerdrotic.com.
There is an interview that's making its rounds on Twitter that we will go and look at right now of the Tamara Morrison. I'm always mispronounce his name. From Boba Fett, talking about how he wanted less dialogue. He's in like some white, and he's talking about like, I wanted less dialogue. And Jon Favreau said he wanted the dialogue, but did you catch what he said? Jon Favreau called from the plane flight that he wants all the dialogue in while they're shooting The Mandalorian. Jon Favreau is writing this thing on the fly. He's doing other shit. He's flying around. Leave all the dialogue in. I'm sure it just sounds like to me, this is just anecdotal. This is just speculation, that he's not really hyper-focused on this TV show. Like, it's filler. Like I said, why I wasn't going to take the time. Now, I got a beautiful email yesterday asking me to review the show. Wrote this, and they were very nice. And we'll talk about it in a second. Here we go. He's going to talk about ruling with respect. We're going to respect pronouns.
I was hoping not to say as much as I have already in the first 2 episodes. I speak far too much. In fact, in the beginning, I was trying to get past my lines on to Ming Na.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to say...
Excuse me, Director.
Hail Data Racer, by the way.
I really feel that Ming Na should say these lines because I want to stay mysterious. Right. I want to stay quiet.
But then I caught on. He wasn't just trying to be a very generous actor, which he is. He was just trying to parlay some of the work to me.
Yes, sharing his responsibility.
So yeah, but and even when, because obviously John's one of the key writers. So and so sometimes I'd always say, I think this is too much. I think this is too much. Then I'd go to, what was the other guy's name? Noah. I'll try and get.
Oh, Noah, yes, Noah. Mm-hmm.
I remember, of course, John actually went away to Atlanta, so I rang Noah that night and I said, Noah, the scene tomorrow, I'm talking too much. This Boba doesn't talk this much. Look, I've got all these paragraphs here. I think we should get rid of it. And John's gone to Atlanta, so don't tell him. And then next minute that morning on set, I get a call from Atlanta. John wants you to say all that dialogue. I was hoping.
John wants you to say all that dialogue. So I will preface this by stating, listen, it did look like Jon Favreau was the guy. It did. To give you something palatable, something digestible from Disney Star Wars. It isn't good. It's meh. It's okay. It's going right to the Disney trilogy. It's going to reinforce everything Disney has produced. They do not understand Star Wars. Jon Favreau seems like a nice guy. Really wish he would have fucking stood up for Gina Carano, and I lost a lot of respect for him because he didn't. He's got plenty of money. You know, people were talking about, Joss Whedon's pretty much done. He's got plenty of money. He's going to be fine. He still gets his residuals. Joss Whedon ain't starving. He just won't get the attention and won't have a great legacy. And Jon Favreau has enough fucking chutzpah, has enough juice to walk away from this shit. He could have kept Gina Carano there because I think if he threatened to walk, they would have kept her. Because just Dave Filoni is going to be live action Filoniverse, which, is popular, but it doesn't have that uber mass appeal that Star Wars needs to exist. Star Trek can be niche. Star Wars is not niche. Star Wars is fandom for normies. It is fandom for normies. Some of us like to get in the weeds on stuff. We like a little more hardcore stuff. But Star Wars, everybody loves Star Wars because it's very nice. It's very palatable. At least it was. Not anymore. If you want to have 260 million subscribers by 2024, aside from the stuff I just talked about in my last video, but you also need to resurrect Carrie Fisher, Gary Kurtz, bring back Marsha Lucas, get her back together with George so she can have some power over him, bring George back, have de-aging technology, no, not for film, for real life, and de-age them all, and then bring back Harrison Ford, the resurrected Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill before he suffered from TDS. Maybe you bring some of those people back and you still wouldn't hit 260 million. I'm sure they are, and they're going to have to use some gimmick. They'll probably give it away free with fucking a phone or some shit like that. So they'll get their 260, but it won't be real 260. Just like this ain't a real whatever they have now. Listen, I'm not making up the news that it's stagnant. The stock is stagnant. Disney is stagnant because they went too fucking woke and intersectional. Nobody will say it. That's why people come here. That's why people come here instead of fucking G4 and Collider, because I'll say that shit. I'm not going to be right all the time. This is all my speculation. I got no sources, nor do I want any. I've just got my little life experience. I obsess on this shit. And yeah, I've sold some comic books. And, you know, you see a lot of lessons through comic books that you can relate to this. A lot of successes and failures that I'm seeing now in a much bigger sense in Hollywood. And I'm seeing Hollywood repeat the same mistakes of the comic book industry, especially when it comes to Marvel and DC. I think a lot of people are going to forget that Edgar Wright, Joss Whedon, Jon Favreau, and Robert Downey Jr. were instrumental in building the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They were together. A lot of those ideas that are in different movies are Joss Whedon ideas. I think I heard some people saying, and I respect these people, and that's fine, that the Avengers was the culmination. No, Joss Whedon is a good director. He's a good director. He wrote Black Widow better than anybody else, or the Hulk. And a lot of good ideas that you saw in those other movies were his. He's an asshole. He's a fuckface. And he's, whatever. But they were. And they were also Jon Favreau's. Edgar Wright put in a ton of feedback before they let him go. I would have loved to have seen an Edgar Wright Ant-Man. I think it would have been fucking great. But, oh well. So now you hear that Jon Favreau is making this Boba Fett. So we go back to the email. And it was Mark with the C. Somebody showed me his talk about Boba Fett. And in his video, he talked about, like, it's bigger than Star Wars. Well, it's always been bigger than Star Wars. What we talk about has always been bigger than Marvel. It's always been bigger than DC. It always has. We just got to choose our battles. What I responded in the email was the reason I'm not covering Star Wars, because I know there's a lot of lessons to be learned from Boba Fett, especially we've got, why the story feels so off. Why does the story feel off? I speculate it's because you're treating sand people with respect, and they're they're afraid that sand people are going to be confused with indigenous people. So now they have to write them as indigenous people instead of being just the villains from the sand that they were meant to be. Meaning this is the death of storytelling. Because you can't, what? If we depict the sand people as bad, I'm going to think, because of my racial prejudices, that they're indigenous people. I never saw sand people as indigenous people. I saw them as sand people on the planet of Tatooine in a galaxy far, far away in something that's not real. But it reinforces the colonial. Fucking shut up. No, it doesn't. It's the fucking sand people. You're reinforcing my argument that your parents wasted a bunch of money on your fucking empty head in the university. That's all.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.
If you like what I do here, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking and sharing the videos. It really does help. And if you did this with your favorite YouTuber as well, I'm sure they would appreciate it as much as I do.